All right, everyone, welcome back. And so, first things first, I failed. It was a really busy period at work, but I managed to get everything out before the start of district season. I had my first district this weekend. Went okay-ish. Got a little bit of RNGs saying no, but I was really happy with how my games went, so can't complain. So today we're gonna do Shaper, and during the course of this week, hopefully, maybe next week, realistically, we're gonna finish up the corp side as well. In the meantime, we're gonna start getting spoilers. I'm gonna try to. I wouldn't say I'm gonna make a video for every single spoiler card, but I'm definitely gonna make at least a couple videos talking about spoilers and my takes. I think that will be fun. But yeah, let's just get cracking with Shaper because I need to get back to work. So Shaper is a really interesting spot because like Shaper won CBI. There were like breakout Shaper decks at Worlds like Transfer Lat and a couple other things. So Shaper is like a faction that like definitely has gas in the tank. Um so yeah, I'm just gonna open a couple decks. Uh and yeah, actually talking about the IDs first. Ari is good. Is like the most, of course, tricky kick flippy runner that there is in standard at least, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Um, After that, Padma unfortunately doesn't really exist. Dewey technically exists. Laura in Scrubs is gonna kick me. Like Dewey exists, but again, is like the more we get kind of slowly back into a glacier meta, the more Dewey just is bad because you're not gonna get your successful runs as easily. So that kind of leaves us with Lat and Maggie. Everything else, unfortunately, is not super real. Uh, how they're it's girls. It's like super aggro, touch agendas, win games, paper. I don't think this is particularly real, but it's kind of like Mercury. Like if you want to kind of just play the slots and see how it goes, you can play Tau. Nobody's gonna fault you. So yeah, Lat. Lat has a bunch of good lists, and Maggie also has a bunch of good lists. The thing usually being that Lat can pretty much do whatever, and Maggie usually helps you setting up fast. Sometimes that makes Lat usually the best user of Anicam, which, as we will see, is a really good console, and Maggie is usually the kind of lily pad, bigger rig, like 6, 7, 8, 9 million memory runner. But yeah, starting back from the top with Ari. This is Pincel's list. This list is absolutely gas. I really like this list. Um, Especially because people tend to do the infamous Shaper U, where you ice R&D a bunch, you live an almost open HQ, and then you ice your remote a bunch. And the addition of Wake Implant in Shaper actually fucks with that a lot, because that means you can really punish the corp for under icing HQ and just kind of building your own twinning dig or whatever. And with Cop, you can like sweep HQ. You have a lot of good HQ pressure that translates into good R&D pressure. And just by virtue of being Ari, you just need to kickflip into the remote like once or twice, and that can be game easily. Uh, Secondly, people have kind of started picking up about how fucking ridiculous Illumination is. Like, if you get off an Elam, it's like you're installing 3 cards in one click, paying one less for each. So let's say that you're spending this, so it's very card negative. So you need a boatload of card draw to support it. That's why we're on 3 Ritual, 3 Nuka, Knick-Knack. You just want to fill your hand with cards, and then you ill them. And if like, even if you take it at like literal click for credit value, you're saving 6 credits. This is a 0 cost 6 credit card if you have the cards in hand to support it. Because the 3 installs that you're getting for 1 each is like, normally you would play a click and the install cost, and you're skipping both. And even if you suppose that you would use the click to click for a credit, this is a 0 cost 6 credit freaking econ card. So this is wild. If you have the card draw to get it off, which right now Shaper's pretty much almost the only faction that has the the amount of card draw without breaking your influence on Nuka and Ritual. To get this off consistently, I've been really liking this card, especially in Ari, where you can just kick flip through a couple early ice and still get it off without too much of a problem. Secondly, people have kind of started picking up of how ridiculous Propeller is as a card, and the fact that you can just like Propeller or Oiler plus a Chromatic Force or Palangi, as we will see later, and just like waltz into a remote or anywhere really. So this is pretty much like the current state of Shaper. You'll see almost all Shaper decks. You can play 6 Gambles, which is always good. Not all Shapers are all Illumination. I guess like Anikam Lat and stuff like that probably has too many events and not enough stuff to install most of the time. But this card is kind of crazy if you can support it for sure. And then the decks that can fit it, the Knick-Knack engine, just selling your coalescences, selling your muses, selling, everything that you don't need to keep, clickless cards, clickless credits, even more credits off of the DZMZ discount. It's really good. And I really like this kind of decks. This I haven't played Shaper in a while, but if I was playing Shaper, I would be playing something like this. Uh, so this is Vildrams. This is a bit more on the spicy end. This is Vildrams. I am gonna Poison Vial everything list. Um, yeah, we had his deck in the jank thread on on the Scrubs Discord, but hey, it went 3-1 at the AMT, and Vildrams won everything with this. So I mean, gotta be good, or it's gotta be doing something. And here we see rigging up rigging up plus cataloger is pretty much the other way Shaper decks win at the moment, because usually 2 cataloger power counters are not enough to win the game, but 3 cataloger power counters, that's when you're getting into like winning the game territory. So I fully support this. This is like the other Shaper win Conduit is not real as long as like RH and Leo are good. Conduit does not exist, sadly, but this is good. We see a lot of the same bones. We see 3 Nuka, M testings, 3 Knick-Knacks, so we see that we're really all in on that. Only 1 DZMZ. Lucky Charm is also spicy. Like, this list is very fun. Even Living Mural as the only killer is kind of wild, but usually like the deck just kind of revolves around Slap Vandal. Yes, Slap Vandal, which is this Trojan that you can R install and breaks 1 subroutine, and Poison Vial, which kind of just makes the deck sing because you can break everything for pennies on the dollar. And that means you have the free Emu to do Adzimat stuff, keep runners in check, keep corpse in check. Um, and yeah, that's I would say pretty much Ari. You have more reg stuff, and then you will always have the kind of crazy people like the Vildrams, the Baramus of the world, and like all there's dedicated Ari players always trying weird stuff out, and it's always fun when it works. I wholeheartedly support this. The degenerate Ari players are the most Shaper players out of all of us, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So this is Tau, Transfer of Wealth, Anikam Tau. You see, like you just play Tau. Oh, this was with Matri, but you can kind of play the same thing. It's like Tau. It's like the aggro shaper. You're on jailbreaks. You're on Anikam triple transfer, and the rest of your influence is Iro. You're on two Pretty Mary, three Pretty Mary, Beatrice, three Devadata drones. You're not even on SMC. Yeah, as like I say, you just need the Matrios because it's like you're here for a good time, not a long time. And yeah, like this can win. I don't think it's particularly solid into people that know what's going on. But I mean, it can get free wins, and I mean, 21st at World Showdown. It means it can definitely do stuff, especially into the more ice light decks. I expect like the epiphanies of the world and stuff like that really get run over by this kind of thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it's kind of like the Mercury argument is like there are really aggressive decks in the format that can kind of just capitalize if the corp stumbles even a little bit, and this is one of them, and that's fine. Then we get into Lat. As we said, Lat has a lot of experimentation that you can do because you can just, you're drawing a free extra card almost every turn if you do it right. And this is one of my favorite lists because it's pretty much taking Anarch, which is my favorite faction, and putting it into Shaper, which is my second favorite faction because it has my favorite card, which is Simulchip. Um, so yeah, this is an Anikam Lat, which plays, a lot of good Anikam Lat cards alongside Reg Breakers. Plus, the Audrey Strike Fund Steel Skin Buffer Drive engine, because it just gets you through your deck so ridiculously fast. And you can stay at 0 cards in deck and just cycle Strike Fund twice per turn cycle and just make 4 clickless credits if you don't have anything better to do. And that's just very fun. I wholeheartedly support this. It is kind of light on win cons, which is why I think it's like not been like the bestest performing shaper, but it is undoubtedly very fun. And if you're expecting a lot of assets, Audrey just kind of goes ham and just gets you everywhere for free, which is very fun. That means you can save your credits for clearing oppos and doing all other kinds of stuff. Um, and yeah, I would say that's about it. Very, very fun list. And I guess we're going to see a lot more of Anikam Lat. As I said, Lat kind of became the Anikam deck, and Maggie became the Lilypad deck. Just because Lat just draws you cards, Maggie gives you installs. Two sides of the same coin. You could, like, realistically, I wouldn't say swap them, but they're very, very close in the amount of value they get. So these are just, like, small optimizations in the end. So, Aggro Lat. Um, This is just again Anikam Lat with clean getaways, revolver, cop. This was in the world's meta, which means you need to respect kill a lot, which is why we're on 2 NFL, 3 stone chip, just because everyone was trying to kill you. Yeah, we there was like still false lead and touch ups and everything. But yeah, this this is probably still solid. You don't need this much kill respect. We're on the rigging up cataloger plan, which is good. Pelangi, maybe it's like more propellers, but Pelangis is always good because like with propeller, with revolver, you can just break everything for pennies, and it's really fun. And yeah, then just SMC overclock. SMC plus overclock is like the dream kind of control shaper opening that you want when contesting anything. Because you can always get the right breaker, you can always get an Azimat, you can get what you want, and just keep messing with the corp. So yeah, solid. Um, this is Bowsley list from Worlds, which is very very similar as you will notice. A little bit less kill tech, because by this time, by this time touch-ups had gone, thank God, so we don't need to worry about that shit Nebula anymore. And we see a little bit of Leo respect with Lucky Charm, which is very, very fun. Some of us were also on Lucky Charm for Worlds. It's very, very fun Leo tech, and sometimes like also like general good card, like you don't need to break a Boto or something. No, wait. Oh, you do need to break a Boto. Shit, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, maybe it is just Leo tech. But it's Leo tech that you can pre-install, which is different than like direct access, I guess. So yeah, it's cute. It's cute. Still 3 overclock SMC Azimat for for all of the ASA matchups. Rigging up cataloger. This looks very very similar. Burner is very fun. Helps you with kill matchups. Helps you just find agendas. 3 jailbreaks might seem small, but getting doubles instead of singles a couple times per game. Good players will find the best use for these. The difference between seeing a single in HQ and seeing a double in HQ when there's like 1 or 2 agendas, like really changes the maths drastically. Like if it's a 2 and 5, it's 40% on a single, but it's a 2 and 5 on a double. You see one and it's 40%, and if you miss, then it's like 2 and 4 and it's a 50%, and it's like okay, so your chances of stealing points are going way up. Um, this was very very fun. Yes, the game against Kikai on this at Worlds, it was such a fun game. It was such a grindy game. It's like every turn, like against Dalco, is like, am I going to die? Do I need to respect this? Do I need to not respect this to keep playing the game? Such an interesting balance. So yeah, this is just you will see that Lat is usually the most more proactive of the two compared to Maggie. So I guess like it's Ari. I mean like Ari's on Knickknack and stuff like that. You can make a consideration that Anikam Lat is more proactive than Ari. I guess Ari allows you to do more kick flipping things. So yeah, that's an interesting consideration. I always thought that Ari is the more aggro deck, but like when we're playing, like Ari still requires a lot of moving pieces. It's like building your own puzzle. These Anika Lats are kind of closer to Krim, where they will just beat you down with value, except your Shaper, so you get a lot of like nice tech pieces with the Azimat and the Catalogers, so you don't need to rely on twinning and stuff like that. And finally, Maggie. Maggie is really good. I kind of like it more than Anikam Lat. I haven't played too much Anikam Lat, to be honest, because it doesn't feel too Shaper-y. Like, if you can still play Cataloger in Maggie. For me, Shaper has always been kind of the install runner faction. It's like, okay, I'm gonna build the Doom the Mega Doom rig to end all Doom rigs, and this kind of stuff definitely works. It can be a bit sketchy if you draw awkward into a really fast corp. You might just like lose if you play into like some sort of very very rushy PDs like Pinsel and stuff like that, which we will talk about this week, I promise. Um, but yeah, this is Maggie. You see 2 Lilipad, 2 DZMZ, so we can go up to 8 MU, which is a ridiculous amount of MU. And this at CBI was really tacked for assets, which was the right call. So 1 badge, 1 wheels, 2 fermenters, and cop is like we are just gonna have enough money with Azimat to trash everything and anything. It's like Epiphany is not gonna have a good time playing into this. Probs, it's gonna. It depends on how much you can gear check them, but it's like 3 propellers. Gonna be rough for Scrubs for sure. And Hush. Hush is a really, really interesting piece of ice that if you have the time and clicks to set up, and that's where wheels helps. It's like normally you would waste a click to run, but it's like if you have wheels and Hush, you can just like Hush the new ice wheels, and that just feels really really good, especially when you have Knickknack going. And yeah, you will see that this deck really made some sacrifices to fit everything into 45. We're only on 2 Ritual, 2 Nuka, 1 Ilum to make everything else fit in, which is definitely a big consideration because, if you don't draw enough, then, you don't trigger Maggie and you're playing with a blank ID because you need to play out your cards. So that's important to remember, but obviously it still works. Spec work might be the secret thing to make Shaper just go a bit faster. It's like, okay, you play your Coal, you play your whatever, your empty propeller, you just spec work it away, and you keep going. Because it's 2 credits and 2 cards. 3 credits and 2 cards is not an econ card that we see frequently. I don't like 3 credits and 2 cards is better val. Well, no, it's like it's tough. I can't think of exactly a card that makes you 3 credits and 2 cards outside of like moshing and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely good. You get rid of your empty propellers, your Coals, your empty Pelangis. This deck was really capitalizing on the fact that people were cutting a bit more down on Fly's Waters and Maviruses over to play more white spaces to get more like face check value. And Pelangi Propeller or Pelangi Oiler just can break a server open super, super cheap. And it's very fun. Very, very fun. More Big Rig Shaper, as we see. Um... I didn't read this write up. This write up seems very fun. This is some sort of Basilar rejig Maggie. I wouldn't say this is super meta relevant, but it seems fun. Yes, I agree. If you're playing Basilar, people will just measure you probably. But very, very fun. I miss this write up from Worlds. Oh, because it's from 2 days ago. Okay, oops. And finally, this is Laura's Maggie from NAVC Vonston. We were like all rooting for her. It was a super wholesome moment. And yeah, this is like the biggest doomriggiest shaper you've ever seen. It's like we are not here to win early. We are here to set up Leech, Game Dragon. We have no win conditions. We're playing Conduit. Conduit is so bad. I so disagree with this. But it's like we are gonna install a bajillion programs and we're gonna break bronze for 2 credits and we're gonna 3 credits and we're gonna call it a day. So this we saw like the scale of like poor value. Actually no, sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna open another deck after that. But we saw like the kind of flow from like pure value right now, Anakim Lat, to I'm gonna set up this cute engine while still being aggressive. Ari to I'm gonna set up a battering ram and I'll see you in the late game, kind of Maggie with the Leech, Game Dragon, Buzzsaw, everything set up. One thing that we somehow haven't talked about is just the transfer lat, the sleeper transfer lat. Sleeper? Hello? Where's sleeper transfer lat? Okay, this is transfer lat anyways. Okay. I'm sorry, sleeper. For me it's a sleeper deck. It's the sleeper deck. Sleeper super nice player. Um and yeah, the gentle giant. He was playing transfer lat at Worlds. And yeah, it's scary when you're sitting down from Shaper and you're like, oh shit, I need to turn 1 Ice HQ, because otherwise Transfer Lat is gonna gain a bajillion credits, install their rig super fast, and just start running everywhere with their double cataloger. This is I wouldn't say aggro shaper, but this is a shaper that's like very oppressive in the early game. Like all of your cards are really, really strong in the early to mid game. You don't really have a great plan for the late game other than just cataloging out very early through overclocks, and like Harmony can help you stay afloat a little bit, but yeah, like you will you will just punch corpse hard and fast, and yeah, by the end of like turn 6 or 7 you will easily be at 4 points most games, just because all of these tools synergize so well. If you don't plan on clearing the transfer tags, if it's not a kill matchup, you can just like never install your teleworks and just like play at 0 cost 6 econ card, which is really good. And yeah, like that's pretty much an overview of the Shaper faction, I would say. I probably missed a couple things. There's a couple write-ups that I haven't read. I've been kind of dialing down my Netrunner from last year because I burned out a little bit. But yeah, like talking about the game is still very very fun, and I'm really hyped for Vantage Point. So yeah, this was the state of Shaper. I'll see you in the next couple of days, starting with HB. Have a great one. See you soon.